Okay, so quadrilateral EFGH has vertices E77, F15, G22, and H84. A, which statements are true about quadrilateral EFGH, and is quadrilateral EFGH a rectangle, why or why not? Select all correct answer choices for question A, and select one answer choice that correctly answers both questions labeled B. So if I didn't know what made a rectangle, I would just check through what they're giving in B's. So I'm just noticing that in the options for B, the quadrilateral has two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel, but not all of its interior angles are right angles, or the opposite sides that are parallel. So it's looking like they want to know that if these opposite sides are parallel and that these angles are 90 degrees, which we can all find out through slopes, which is what they're asking for in question A. So I'm going to copy this over to a Google Doc, just a doc, so that I can keep track of the coordinates. And then again, I am just going to find the slope of each side length. So we have side length FE, we would have side EH, we would have side HG, and we would have side GF. And I'm just looking for the slopes for all of them. And I'm going to be using my calculator, my slope calculator. So I'm going to jump over here, and I'm just going to, this is the slope formula calculator by Math Warehouse. So point E is at 7.7, and point F is at 1.5. Calculate, it comes out to be 1/3. Then we want EH, so point E was the 7.7 and point H is at 8.4. Calculate, it gives us -3. I'm going to write it as -3/1 just so that when I'm checking for perpendicular I can check for reciprocals more easily. So then point side length HG is, slope is going to be 1/3, and GF, since point G is right here, point F is going to be 1/5. Calculate 3, that's just -3/1. Alright, so now that we know the slopes for each line, I'm just going to quickly label the slopes for each side so I can compare the opposite sides and the adjacent sides. So FE was 1/3, EH was -3, which is -3/1, GH was 1/3, and GF was -3/1. Okay, so far opposite sides, FE and GH, are parallel because they have the same slope. That's what we learned in the previous lesson. And opposite sides, FG is -3/1, and slope of EH, its opposite side, is the same slope. So again, they are parallel, which is what we learned in the last lesson. Now we're going to look for opposite signs and reciprocals. So these two adjacent sides, FG and GH, have opposite signs and they are reciprocals. 3/1's reciprocal is 1/3. So that means that this is perpendicular, which means it's 90 degrees. So FG's adjacent side, other adjacent side would be FE. So these two slopes are opposites in signs, and they are reciprocals. So this corner right here is perpendicular. They are perpendicular lines, so that is a 90 degree. And again, if we compare FE's other adjacent side, EH, the slopes 1/3 and -3/1 are opposites in signs, and they're reciprocals, which means they look like they flipped on their heads. So that means that's perpendicular lines and a 90 degree angle. EH's adjacent side, GH, their slopes are opposite signs, -3/1 and +1/3, and they are reciprocals, 3/1 and 1/3. So that is a 90-degree angle right there too. So yes, it is a rectangle. So I'm just going to be looking for the slopes of FG is -3, so that's a no. EF is 1/3, so that's a no. GH is +1/3, so that's a no. EF is 1/3, yes. The slope of EH is -1/3, no. Slope of EH is -3, yes. Slope of FG is -3, yes. B, no. That's not right because it is a rectangle. Slope of GH is 1/3, yep. Yes, the quadrilateral has two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel and all of its interior angles are right angles. Yep, that's exactly correct.